So I just bought these seats. These ones from off E92 coupe, and this is what I plan to fit in my BMW E21, which doesn't have a CanBUS system or K-Bus system, and I plan to make these seats work. Well, I'm not sure if that's going to work out, but I'm going to try to do my best. These seats have these seat modules under the seat. I'm going to open this, and then I'm going to try to find a way to power these seats up and make them work. In order to remove this module, I just used a simple screwdriver. You just have to shove it in and then pops out. So I'm going to try to open it. After that, either these two pins, that one and this one, I just had to put a screwdriver behind it, and then it popped off. I guess I have broken off these two pins, and then I'm gonna have access to this module, and now I'm going to try to find out what wakes up this module. I just flipped the seat to have better access to this PCB, and now it's open. Well, I think it's almost the same for all modules: E90, 91, 92, F10, F11. So they probably use the same module, or if not the same, a very similar, and it should work the same way. So the plan is that to make this seat alive, obviously not everything's gonna work, but the main features are. So the plan is, this is this small IC, oops, yeah, and that wakes up the whole module. So the CanBUS wakes actually up this module by this IC, and the plan is to bypass the CanBUS system, as I don't have one. So then I'm going to try to bypass this and apply a signal to this, which makes the seat alive. And to do that, I'm going to use this buck converter. This is what I'm going to use. This one is actually a variable because it has a pot, a trim pot, and I plan to set the output to 9 volt, and hopefully it's not gonna burn this chip out. But I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up. This is what I had in hand, and probably you would be able to buy one which works with 12 volt input and 9 volt output. That's a fixed 9 volt. You don't have to have these trim pots. But yeah, I don't have 9 volt, so I use what I've got, and this is what I try to connect to this IC and see what happens. Obviously I have to connect to this one. Now I'm not gonna do this right now, as I ordered a plug. I contacted a scrapyard and I asked them if they could send me a plug which fits in, as I don't plan to cut this harness here. I plan to use the plug, and then I asked them to have a 20 centimeter long line left, and then I'm going to try to connect by that, so I don't have to, you know, modify really or cut these lines, although I could, but I don't plan to do that. And once that arrives, then I'm going to try to apply this fix and carry on with this video. So I couldn't wait to get these plugs to connect these connectors. I decided just to use these line cable clamps to connect to these cables without pinching off the plugs. And yeah, I made it work, and reading online I realized there are two CAN transceivers. One is this and one is the other one, and I found reference online to make this work, but for that one my CAN transceiver is this one, which is slightly different and it's not the same connector. So I turn this on. So the thing is, when you don't have CanBUS, this K-Bus connected, then it basically, how this system works is that you turn it on, and then this module works normally for like 2 minutes, and after that it goes to sleep mode, and you can't really wake this up unless you disconnect the whole thing from the battery, and then you need to wait until the capacitors discharge, and that takes like, I don't know, I had to wait like 5 minutes, and then I connected back, and then of course it came alive, and then it was working again for 2 minutes. And then I looked up online that this transceiver, and what someone wrote in a forum that he applied 9 volts on the inhibit pin, and but he used this one. So this is my connector I found online, and I'm going to show you how I connected. But the difference between these two, this one, the inhibit pin, is pin 1, and the IC's got a beveled edge, which is that one. They also try to mark it here, and this is where pin 1 can be found. So you can't just connect to either of them, you have to find pin 1, and it's easy to find. The other one is this one, and the inhibit pin is pin 7. So actually this is the other end compared to the other IC. So don't make mistakes unless you have to contact a scrapyard for another seat module. So because I use this one, I measured it. Once this came alive, I measured the inhibit pin output, and I measured 6.65 volt. And what I did, I used this voltage converter. Doesn't ring the bell. How do you call it? Whatever. I previously I explained it, and then I adjusted these trim pots down to the output is now 9.5 volts. Now, when you see this this converter, then when you adjust it, you have to screw this in for I don't know how many turns I did. I did like 20 turns before it started to actually change the output voltage. But yeah, eventually I did it, and now it's at 9.5 volts, and it's working. Now it's on. The seat is on for like 40 minutes. So yeah, it's working, and this is the way I connected it. Let's not forget that my connectors, this one is a E92 coupe seat, and I've got this one, and I connected the way. This is pin 9 and 4. It should be connected by two 30 amp fuse, 8 and 13 connected together, just a plus. And I'm going to supply a voltage to this converter using an ACC output, which is on basically when the car is on, when the car works. So I'm going to try to avoid unexpected, unwanted battery drain. So I'm going to use ACC, and then I just connected only the positive output to pin 1. Obviously with the other one, that one, you have to find pin 7, which I guess would be, oh, I don't even want to say. You need to look this up. I showed you before. Yeah, if I put this there, yeah, it's the opposite. So that would be the inhibit pin. So this is it. Now it works.